Hello everyone, welcome to VM Commerce. This is Meenakshi. Today we are going to see Chapter 8 Securities Exchange Board of India from our 12th Standard Commerce textbook. Part 2. Part 1 we have discussed about the meaning of SEBI, objectives and functions of SEBI. In this part 2 we are going to discuss about the powers of SEBI and dematerialization. First topic is powers of SEBI. Powers means having the right to do some activity, having control over some activity is called powers. What are all the powers SEBI is having? First one, powers relating to stock exchanges and intermediaries. SEBI has the power to verify all the informations given by the stock exchange and intermediaries, and also has the power to inspect their business transactions. Second power, power to impose monetary penalties. Penalty means fine. SEBI has the power to impose monetary penalties on capital market intermediaries and other participants for a range of violations. Violations means breaking the rules, who is not properly following the rules and regulations of SEBI. So SEBI has the power to impose penalties on them. Even they can suspend their registration for a short period. Third one, power to initiate actions in functions assigned. SEBI shows the right path to the participants of the capital market by issuing guidelines to different intermediaries, and the intermediaries have to act according to the guidelines of SEBI. Fourth one, power to regulate insider trading. Insider means the promoters, directors of a company. SEBI regulates their functions. Usually, insiders are restricted to participate in trading. Fifth power, powers under Securities Contract Act. Ministry of Finance delegated several powers to SEBI under the Securities Contract Act. The powers are delegated on 13th September 1994. SEBI is also empowered by the Finance Ministry to nominate 3 members on the governing body of every stock. Sixth one, power to regulate business of stock exchanges. So SEBI has the power to regulate many businesses who are all involved in the stock exchanges. Can we say the participants, that is intermediaries who are all associated with the securities market. So it restricts the fraudulent and unfair trade practices relating to securities. So these are all the powers of SEBI. Now moving to the next topic, dematerialization. What is the meaning for dematerialization? It is the process by which physical share certificates of an investor are taken back by the company or a registrar and destroyed. So the physical share certificate may be destroyed. Dematerialization means everything in an electronic form. So that is called dematerialization. No need of any physical certificates. An equivalent number of securities in the electronic forms are credited to the investors in the depository participant. So the dematerialization is done at the request of the investor. If the investor requests for the dematerialization, only the company will do that. Then the investors first have to open an account with depository participant. In short, they are telling DP. And then request for the dematerialization of certificates through the DP. So only through online transactions, everything through electronic form is called dematerialization. Benefits of dematerialization. The risk pertaining to physical certificates are eliminated completely with a demat account. If we are having a physical certificate with us, there may be a chance for loss, theft, etc. But it is completely eliminated in the dematerialization. Then the lack of paperwork enables quicker transactions and higher efficiency in trading. So there is a lack of paperwork, no need to fill up everything, and efficiency we cannot expect in the paperwork. But through online transactions, it is easily make the certificates. Then next benefit, trading has become more convenient as one trade through computers at any location without the need of visiting a broker. So through the dematerialization, everything they can do at any time, okay, at any location. It is more convenient to the participants. Then the shares that are created through mergers, consolidation of companies are credited automatically in the demat account. So if any company is going to merge or consolidate the companies, means the shares will be automatically credited in the demat account. Then it does not have to communicate individually. So the dematerialization, who is having demat account, no need to communicate individually to that persons. So it is easily made through electronic form. Then there is no need for stamp duty for transfer of securities. Transfer of securities made very easy through dematerialization. Certain banks also permit holding of both equity and debt securities in a single account. So in a single demat account, a holder can hold both equity and debt securities in a single account. The next benefit, banks also provide dedicated and trained customer care officers to assist through all the procedures. So regarding the procedures of dematerialization, an investor can be easily trained because they are having a separate customer care to guide their investors. A demat account holder can buy or sell any amount of shares. There is no minimum amount of shares. They can buy or sell any amount of shares. There is no limit on that. Then one can also choose to take a loan against securities which are held in a demat account by offering it as a collateral to the lender. So this demat account securities can be given as a collateral and they can get a loan from any person. So this is very easily accessible. So these are all the benefits of demat account. Then what is demat account? A demat account holds all the shares that are purchased in electronic or dematerialized form. So that is, there is no physical share certificates. Okay, so basically a demat account is to shares what bank account is to money. So when we are having a account with the bank, means we will be depositing some money, withdrawing some money. So money transactions will be there. But in demat account, share transactions. So demat account is considered for share transactions. A demat account holds the certificates of financial instruments like shares, bonds, government securities, mutual funds and exchange traded funds. Demat account can hold all these financial instruments. Then working of demat account. How the demat account is working. How we can open a demat account. We can have this. From this picture you can easily understand the demat account, working of demat account. First procedure is they have to select the DP, that is depository participant, which bank they are going to open a demat account. The participant investor should select that. Then filling up of account, that is opening form. Like an application form, they have to fill up everything through online only, electronic form only. Okay, they are going to fill up everything and they are going to submit the documents to that DP, that is depository participant. From the depository participant, they may be come for in-person verification whether the person is in that correct address, correct place, whether he has given all the original informations. Like that they will be coming for in-person verification. After completing all the verifications, the investor will be given account number or ID to the demat account holder. Okay, the account number or ID will be provided to that person. For this, a demat account holder should pay some fees like annual maintenance to that depository participant, like a service charge, because they are providing service for us. Everything, the share transactions are done through demat account. So the investors has to give some fees for annual maintenance. So these are all the working of demat account. Then what are all the proof of identity? Identity means the photocopy of the investor will be affixed in that ID card, that is PAN card, voters ID, passport, driving license, bank attestation, IT returns, EB bill, telephone bill, whatever may be. But the first thing is the ID cards with applicants' photos issued by the central or state government. So this ID card should be issued by the central or state government. Then proof of address proof we have to give. For this also we can submit any of these proof, ration card, passport, voter ID card, driving license, bank passbook, verified copies of EB bills, telephone bills, then ID card or document with address issued by the central or state government. So these are all the proof of identity and proof of address to open a demat account. This is very, very important to open a demat account. Then so this is the format for that is specimen copy of PAN card, how a PAN card will be there. So PAN card means permanent account number. So this is also can be given as a proof for opening the demat account. Okay. So that's all. We have completed the powers of SEBI and dematerialization in this video. Thank you.